Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the Finance Bill 2024 is supposed to go through its first reading on June 17th, 2024. And because of that realization, William RUTO has realized that there is a need to convene an urgent PG meeting of the parties that formed the government. So RUTO had scheduled for a meeting to take place at the State House on this date, today, But one funny thing is that that meeting had to be called off. As to why the meeting was called off, details have not been released, but going by what was said yesterday, especially by the governor Mutahi Kahiga,
akiwa na Biblia kwa mkono na alikuwa anatusalimia, Bwana asifiwe, mwadhani agoshwo. Hata sasa tunataka aendelee kusema nini? Tunaangalia rais, hatujui ni nani alimkaribia. Siku hizi rais anajipiga kifua.
Going by the statements which were made, we suspected that there was going to be a problem. Despite the fact that the Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheriot failed to disclose the reason why that meeting had to be called off. But the biggest concern here is that the growing division, the growing tension in Mount Kenya could be the reason why that is happening. So I want us to go deeper into this sudden event, ladies and gentlemen, of this new twist in UDA. But before you do that, please let me encourage you to like this video. I have noticed that so many people forget to like our videos. Please like our video. Also, if you're a viewer who also subscribe to our channel, please take 1 second, go below there and subscribe to our channel. To existing subscribers, thank you so much for supporting this channel. After what Mutahi Kahiga, the governor of Nyeri County, said in an explosive statement, and during that statement, Murkomen himself, the CS under William Ruto's government, was there, and he had the complaints firsthand. After that remark, there was expectation that William Ruto would be forced to call off, because the truth of the matter is that should this finance bill reading go through the first session, that is a finance bill reading on 17th, and should it be voted for a no, the finance bill might not ascend to the second reading. So that is the problem that William Ruto is staring at, the rejection. What if the bill is rejected? To be honest, if you go by the statistics, I was going through Nation newspaper, then I managed to find they had done some poll there on who is supporting some of the clauses within the bill and who is rejecting, especially when you go to the motor vehicle circulation tax. I looked at the numbers there. Almost 90% of people are saying no. If you go to the issue of bread, the same was happening. In totality, this finance bill, Kenyans do not want it. In fact, what Kenyans are saying is that even afadhali last year, the last year's finance bill was better than this year's. If you go to the statement that Raila Amolo Odinga released regarding this finance bill, for those who followed that statement, it was, I think, released on 8th, if I'm not wrong, 8th of this month, June. Raila wondered why William Ruto and his team were still putting a lot of burden on Kenyans, even after last year's demonstrations where Kenyans spoke out.
Carrying placards, the protesters marched through the streets of Nairobi.
They did not want the issue of the finance bill 2023-2024. That finance bill, the finance bill that brought about the housing levy, the mandatory deduction of the housing levy. They spoke out in that during that session. The courts also attempted to stop it, but because William Ruto is so powerful, according to him, and after what he said, saying that the people did not vote for the magistrates, the judges, that they were never voted in. After William Ruto made those statements, most Kenyans realized that they would not trust the courts anyway, and that's why you find that finance bill, it passed, it went through all the stages. The suspicion in this year's finance bill 2024 is that Ruto thinks that it might be shut down by his own members of parliament. And that is the reason why he had to move in with speed and call for an urgent PG, which has not taken place. Now that that PG has not taken place, and I think they are saying that it's going to be, I don't know, June 12th, I'm not sure, but they are projecting that that is the time they might have another meeting. Part of the reason maybe is to try to harmonize, these things so that they go there and speak in one voice. Ruto is staring at an opposition from his own party. Now, this time round, it's a bit different from last year. Last year there were so many demonstrations. This time round, there are no demonstrations. I think the only demonstration I saw was of one that was organized by Eric Omondi. Whereby Eric Omondi was demonstrating in solidarity with the Mamambogas who were promised heaven, by the RUTO regime. They were promised heaven during campaigns, and they knew very well that this government was going to give them exactly that. But what they have realized is that this government is not even delivering a hotel, not only a heaven, a hotel. So that is a realization that these people have come to face, and that's the reason why they had to demonstrate. But you see, Eric Omondi was caught. I saw him, being manhandled. So what do you think could have been the reason why Ruto called off that meeting? Because if he has the numbers, let's say he has the numbers, why was he afraid? We know that Ruto is supposed to go to Italy. There is a meeting in Italy again, another trip. So if this PG meeting is called off, or rather, can say cancelled, and we know that probably on Friday is going to travel, then what's going to happen? Personally, I think Ruto has to do a lot of mobilization this time around. It's unlike last year, whereby the people the members of parliament were only saying, they were only seeing the finance bill of that year, 2023-2024 finance bill, as to being something that Raila Amolo Odinga was the one who was opposing. So they would say yes, just to fight Raila Amolo Odinga. So they said yes, but only to realize that this finance bill was a thorn in the flesh, especially the people in the Mount Kenya. The leaders in Mount Kenya realized that that finance bill hawakuwa wameipitia. In one particular time, even Gachagua confessed kwamba hakuwa ameisoma vizuri. And he also talked about sitting with William Ruto so that they can try to look at some of these things, the avocado tax. One thing for sure is that should this motor vehicle circulation tax pass or go through, because it's likely to go through anyway, because the Mount Kenya, the members of parliament in UDA, they will simply just vote a yes. So if that bill goes through and it finally becomes an act, that means it will be enforced. Some of the laws there will be enforced. In fact, all the laws there will be enforced on the people. Now, if you go to the motor vehicle circulation tax, the 2.5% that is supposed to be pegged on the worth of the vehicle, but again, this is supposed to go up to 100,000, a minimum of 5,000. So if you look at that, then the most likely thing, even if William Ruto says that this tax is only for the people who own cars, but let's take a look at someone who owns a fleet of maybe shuttles that travel from Nairobi to maybe Meru to Isiolo. Just let's take, for example, those kind of shuttles. If they are subjected to pay that additional tax, rest assured that tax will be brought down to the common mwananchi who is the traveler, the person who boards those matatus, those shuttles. These are the kind of people who is going to shoulder that burden. So in a nutshell, this burden is being brought down to the common mwananchi, the person whom William Ruto is saying that he is defending. He is collecting from the rich and defending the poor. The poor are the ones who are going to pay for this bill. That is a reality. I wish they could do their mathematics correctly. None of these investors would like to be the ones shouldering those burdens. They will extend them to the common mwananchi. So at the end of the day, the common mwananchi is the one who is going to pay. Let's take, for example, a company like Enacoach that could be having maybe like, let's take, for example, 30 buses. then you subject Enercoach to paying up to 100,000. So what you're telling Enercoach is that you have 30 buses, you'll be paying 3 million every year. Where is Enercoach going to get that money from? Enercoach will simply extend that burden to the common mwananchi who will be boarding. Because of course we know that Enercoach charges, let's say 2,500 from Mombasa to the upcountry. Most of the charges are pegged at 2,500. So if you are to add that kind of tax on the Enercoach, then Enercoach might be prompted to charge additional 100 shillings per passenger. So Enercoach will be seeking to collect this money from the passengers. That is what is going to happen. I wish William Ruto knew that calculation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to rest my case there, but just go below the comment section and tell us, what do you think William Ruto decided to call off that meeting at the wee hours? Just go below the comment section. You can tell us what you think about this latest move by William Ruto. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. So until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.